What's up, cows? It's your favorite vamp cow back at it again with another React Andy. This time round, we have our favorite furry VTuber back with another video about VTubers. This time round, a VTuber predator. That's a femboy. Ooh, wonderful. If I'm kind of spoiled on this video over here from 2 months ago. It's appearing to the side. Apparently, this was from bro has 14 victims, and the very first thing is an advertisement for chairs. But okay. Anyways, I don't know anything about this person. Unless they happen to rebrand as like someone I used to know, but hopefully not. That'd be kind of corny and freaky and scary.
So it's been a while since we've talked about a certain topic. A topic that some of you within communities like War Thunder, Warframe, and probably VR Chat can't stop talking about. And no, the topic has nothing to do with how lonely you are and the fact you've dedicated thousands of hours grinding these games to take your mind off that crushing loneliness.
Nah, actually, I had a surprising amount of friends through Warframe. I had a whole friend group that I kind of created myself by pure accident, by pure happenstance, through Warframe. I can't say for anything for like War Thunder though. As for VR Chat, may God help your soul if you are a VR Chat player in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, the nice looking frame, the top tier tank, the trusted user status.
Nah, listen, you don't understand. Fashion is always endgame no matter the game, and that's always like the most expensive part. You don't get it. Look at that drip. Garuda Prime be dripped out. Meanwhile, I just kind of pressed the randomize button until I found like a coloration I liked. Because I was just too lazy. I was too lazy to come up with something on my own. So I just let a randomizer do it for me. And then I was just like, oh, if there's like one color that's off, I'll just change it out. Who's interested for Soulframe? I'm kind of interested in Soulframe, but I'm a little worried that the gameplay looks like significantly slower in comparison to Warframe, but it is a fresh start in comparison to Warframe.
The top tier.
So I will actually be able to keep up with everybody else. Until I take a break from the game, and in which case then I'll be like months behind everyone else.
Trusted user status, and the permanent brown stain on your decade-old office chair was all worth the countless hours you've sunk into these games.
I didn't have any brown stains on any of my chairs. I did, however, have a bunch of brown stains on my underwear, though. But that was more than anything because I just didn't understand how to take a shit, because everyone always told me to, it's supposed to slide out, and you shouldn't poop too hard because you'll get hemorrhoids. Never tell your kids that. If you have kids, never tell them those two things. If you poop too hard, you'll get hemorrhoids and you'll bleed out your butt, and it's just supposed to slide out. No, you tell me that they have to push a little bit, and then you just go from there. I was given the worst advice ever, and I kept shitting myself for years.
I like it in here. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
We gotta love. Yeah. If you haven't watched the Backrooms movie, I would recommend it. It's a good movie. It's good. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it a bit more than Exit 8, the movie. Exit 8 just kind of worked. It was like okay as a movie, but definitely Exit 8's a fun game. Backrooms movie, pretty good, very good actually. I can probably rewatch that like 3 or 4 times. I will still find new stuff in it.
Was probably could have been better spent, I don't know, with the amount you've put in, probably getting a doctorate in some field, or putting.
No, because then I would have college debt. And I'd also be and then I have to be working with a job market that expects me to have like 5 years of experience on top of having the degree. So, yeah.
To learning a skill that would actually benefit you, apart from screaming slurs down your microphone when your game doesn't go the way you want it to. Or maybe you could have even started looking in the mirror and evaluating where everything went wrong and building a plan to improve your life going forward. But no, that's
just society's fault. Listen. No matter what happens, it's always everybody else's fault. Remember, keep that in mind. It's never your fault. It's everybody else's when things go wrong. It's just a fact of life.
It requires commitment, and you'd probably prefer putting another 1,000 hours into your game of.
Holy sh! I cannot imagine actually putting like 10,000 hours into a game. Period. I think I have like 3,000 on Destiny. Like Destiny 1 plus 2. I have like 3,000 combined hours on those games. I think maybe I have like 2,000 on Warframe, maybe 1,000 on BDO. I can't comprehend like having the autism to just play a game for that long.
Choice. But anyway, hypocrisy to the side, the topic I was referring to at the start of the video that most of the people within these communities can't stop talking about, and something I haven't talked about in a while, is femboys.
Where are your fingers?
In my butt right here.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Why? Because they fit better in there.
Your fingers are...
If you don't know what a femboy is, I'm not going to bother educating you, but I will say you've either
Just say, I need to stick my fingers up your ass. Just say.
Granted divine protection from God himself, or you've never interacted with communities related to fairies, aircrafts, tanks, or guns, because for some reason they are always hyper-concentrated in these areas, especially the latter group. They commonly know everything there is to know about guns, history, and they are almost always heavily armed. However, joke and slander to the
Based. Keep that rifle beside you.
There's nothing really inherently wrong with being a femboy. Yes, there's a lot of stereotypes, but I've already talked about that before, and I'm not going to talk about it again. Ultimately, you do you, and it's a mandatory decision all guys that are below 5'5" have to come to terms with.
Now, I gotta say though, the guy on the right, that is so... That's weird, bro. Bro looks like he's trying to be exactly like those Chinese influencers. Because they look exactly like that, where you can just tell they have like 30 pounds of makeup on. And you don't even look human anymore. You look like you're trying to cosplay an anime girl, and it just doesn't look right. It looks so weird.
But anyway, why have I been
like, take a couple pounds off, man. You don't need 30. Maybe you need like 5.
Yapping about femboys for around 2 minutes now? Well, it was supposed to be a gentle introduction to the topic of today's video, as the person we're going to be talking about not only was one, but they also classified as a
Was? What do you mean, was? Aren't you once a femboy, always a femboy, aren't you?
One of your favorite interests, a VTuber. Yes, this is a terrible
day. Yes, I love VTubers just like how I love watching you, my favorite VTuber.
For those unemployed and anybody a part of both of these communities, but it's not like this one person represents either of these communities, because if that was a thing, most Minecraft YouTubers would be in jail. But the person I'm talking about today is someone that, to say the least, has done some very disgusting, disturbing things, and most of their activity has been well documented to the point where it's been claimed they have over 10 victims and counting, because from what I've seen, they
10 plus, bro. The video in the video in the bottom right telling me they got 14. But I guess I wonder if they don't have as much evidence for that, so he ain't confirming it.
Still somewhat active on the internet, despite the gravity of the claims against them, and most of the people aware of their existence constantly shitting on them and reminding them of their accusations no matter what they post. On top of the fact they apparently even admit to some of the claims levied against them sometimes.
Bro. 14's legal here. Yeah, but if you mess it with people across the internet, you're fucking up, man. You can't do that. That's weird.
But the person I'm referring to is the VTuber and so-called...
You're breaking international crimes.
A streamer and content creator who was accused of being a predator with supposedly countless victims. But before we get into the allegations, we first need to know who Piggy is and how they became known on the internet.
Inside you there are 2 wolves. One likes kissing boys, the other likes being kissed by boys. You are hella gay.
So Piggy...
I wish. My life would be so easy if I was gay. I'd have like 5 times the amount of audience I did. And like 4 times the amount of friends.
He is a German content creator that is said to be around 25 years old at the time of this video. They've been making content since at least 2021, although some have claimed they've been around since 2016.
You know, the chaotic lava cat boy seems familiar, but at the same time, though, maybe there's another chaotic lava cat boy that exists.
However, it's hard to tell since there's no archives of their earlier content, but what we do know is that they've gone under a lot of names since then, primarily because it seems like every time they get exposed for doing some deplorable shit, they will briefly try to defend themselves, which almost never works, and ultimately they just decide to delete everything and go to another account, or sometimes they just use the same account and just rename it. From what...
Bruh. That ain't how it worked, Chief. It's called a digital footprint. Listen, if people want to figure out who you... If people want to constantly call you out, and they know you're still patrolling the internet, people will find you and then call you out. Even then, though, once you get big enough, people, you know, those same people that recognize your voice, or recognize, you know, your... your behavior, you will still get called
I can
out.
tell they were originally known as Spook RL and then Pika RL, and when VTubing was becoming quite popular, he then became a femboy VTuber going by Picky, the name they're most known by today, and then there were different variations of that name like Lord Pipsky, Picky Paw, Picky VT, Picky Silly, Picky RL, and many.
Well, they changed their Twitter ad, but their username's the exact same.
Many other names.
They ain't doing a very good job of hiding who they are.
One time he even tried to masquerade as another femboy VTuber who went by the name Lion Chew, but that didn't last long, as people quickly found out it was them, and in the current day when their accounts aren't mass reported or taken down and they aren't being made fun of by everyone else, they often love to jump on bandwagons and throw a fecal matter at others, acting like their own shit doesn't smell, even though I'd even go as far as to say their allegations are 10 times as worse as anyone they've called out in the past. But as said, Picky made their start around 2021 as First Spook RL, where they primarily played and streamed Rocket League.
It's like a leaderboard spot, you know? Like, I think tokens are kind of a good way to measure how much importance you have to the stream. That's kind of how much you like it.
They did claim in their channel's description.
I don't understand how you can actually do that in Rocket League. Then again, though, like I played it for like maybe 20 minutes after the game came out. Like after the game was out for like 5 years, so everybody was doing these crazy tricks or able to do not even crazy tricks. Because I was queued up against people that were, I guess, in my demographic, my rank, however you want to put it, my elo, and I swear, man, everyone was still pulling off these tricks, and I was just like, dude, how the fuck are you doing that? That doesn't even make any sense. Also, Rocket League, I can't believe Rocket League is still going. I thought the game was kind of entertaining, depending on the person you're watching. I mean, that goes with anything, though, but I can't understand the enjoyment of playing it yourself. Then again, though, if you're constantly winning the game, of course you're going to be having fun. If you're not winning, if you're losing the game, of course you're not going to enjoy it. And you're going to quit out.
And under later usernames, that they are apparently mentally handicapped to the point where they can't work anymore, and they apparently suffer from schizophrenia and stress-induced psychosis.
Yeah, that's also why they have to touch children. As it goes with every single VTuber with several mental disabilities and physical disabilities. Guys, listen, they have to touch kids. Otherwise, their life is just so sad and so depressing that they can't move on. They can't continue to live on. Let them have your kids.
But I couldn't find anything that confirms that they have said conditions and disabilities apart from what they have said themselves, so take that with a grain of salt. They did initially stream with a face cam, but when...
Yeah, man, I feel like most people, I really don't ever believe anybody when they talk about whatever they have straight away. I give it some time. I'll wait it out and I'll be like, you said you have this, but yet you're okay with this? You said you have this, but yet this thing says you can't be doing the thing that you're doing. This thing on the internet also says that, like, you should not have the energy to be doing what you're currently doing. This thing on the internet also says that you should not be able to go outside because you'll just turn to dust.
They rebranded as Pika.
Bro, you're a vampire. You said you're a vampire, yet I see you getting tanned. You're not a vampire, you're a fraud.
They stopped doing this altogether, opting to just stream with their gameplay and voice. And when they streamed under this name, they averaged around 25 viewers per stream, with 17,000 followers on Twitch and over 10,000 on TikTok.
17,000 followers on Twitch, but yeah, you only got like an average of 30 viewers. Something didn't add up there, Chief.
One could say they were somewhat known in the followers.
Hold on. 10,000 followers on TikTok, yet only 43,000 likes. Yeah, something didn't add up there either, Chief.
Twitch and over 10,000 on TikTok. One could say they were somewhat known in the Rocket League community down to their content at this time and how much they knew about the game. Some even said they were entertaining to watch. But any positive affirmations would be quickly overshadowed when the allegations began rolling in, with the first of many being in 2020, where a Twitter user going under the name Barksy Run would make a thread going into how Pika, under their former name Spook in 2019, was interacting with and talking explicitly to those underage. Yes, this is apparently a pattern of behavior Picky has been exhibiting for the last 7 years.
Now, I was going to say, but did they know? Seeing as this guy stated that there was 10 victims and another video said there's 14, I'm pretty sure bro knows. If he didn't figure shit out the first time round, he's just a predator. You know, where's JDI when we need him? You need to catch this guy.
Yes, and supposedly in the current day, nothing much has changed. Within the Twitter thread, Boxy shares DMs taken from multiple individuals they were acquainted with, showing multiple screenshots of Picky talking explicitly to these underage individuals, constantly asking them to reciprocate and send things like pictures to him, and he would also send—
Bro. Aged, Why would you ever send that? Just even the idea of it is disgusting. I will never be able to understand these people. I'm proud of the fact I have never ever like taken a picture of myself naked in any form, and I'm proud that I have never like posted it. You know, I'm just proud I've never taken a picture of myself naked in any form, or proud I've never taken pics of any of my fluid on anything either. Like, why? Who needs to see that? Why are you sharing that onto the internet? Literally, nobody wants to see that, and the only time I actually do is if I'm trying to like, get a goon on, and I'm watching like a video. You know what I'm saying? This you are freak. You're fucking
very
disgusting. You're a freak,
pictures
man.
to them as well. At some point, he even attempted to date one of the victims while supposed—
No. Where's Jidion when we need him? Jidion, this is what happens when you're like picking fights with Chud the Builder. Listen, why aren't you go after Spook over here?
supposedly being in a relationship with
Easy
another
W,
person at
man.
that time.
Go after that cupcake. Go after that cupcake getter. That cupcake enjoyer.
And with said victim, he'd threatened to do things like self if they wouldn't talk to him, and eventually the victim would respond by basically telling them to get their shit together. And you may be thinking, well,
Hold on, wait, what'd they say here? Let's see, not doing what? I'm confused, staying up super late. I can't control your sleep schedule. I'm just not going to use my mic. You won't? I have to cut. What? What the fuck is wrong with this person? You know, maybe they are mentally ill, and maybe they do have schizophrenia. Why aren't they locked up in, like, Gotham Asylum permanently?
the victim would respond by basically telling them to get their shit together. And you may be thinking,
yeah, fair. I would say get your shit together, dude. If I had, like, some 20-year-old guy coming to me about and constantly telling me that they're gonna, like, hurt themselves, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Grow up.
well, it doesn't get any more disgusting and pathetic from here, right? Yes, it does. It actually gets
how am I not
significantly
surprised?
worse. There was an interaction where he potentially wanted to buy a jar full of one of their—
Why? Yes, it is. The police wouldn't like it. Oh my word. Yeah. Yeah, I knew he knew, but man, it's just another thing to even just see it. I'm happy that I'm normal in comparison to these people. You know, everyone always tells me that I'm a weirdo, I'm a freak. Yeah, no. At least I'm not sending I'm not asking children to send me their cum in a jar, bro.
victim's fluids, even saying they would pay them around $200, of which the victim refuses. Yeah. Genuinely, this is degeneracy levels I've never seen before. I don't even think the Warhammer god Slanesh would fuck with this. And I personally think this person is eligible for a space—
You'd be surprised what Slanesh would be down for. But I'm also not a Warhammer fan, so you're probably right.
in Guantanamo Bay with extra waterboarding with those messages like—
Extra waterboarding? Nah, man. Death by flintlock.
what the fuck is that? Unfortunately, there was more messages to go through, but after posting this thread with all the evidence, despite not a lot of people seeing it, Piggy, whilst under the name Spook, would actually respond to the allegations in their Discord at the time.
I know we're gonna be in for some absolute bullshit here, but I'm ready.
In the announcement, they basically admit to the allegations.
It's real. It's unedited. I won't pretend I didn't do things in my past that should be forgotten. My brother in Christ. Things in my past that should be forgotten. You asked a kid for their cum in a jar. I think you admitted you were like 20 into screenshots. What is wrong with you? I think you're more than old enough to know that asking a kid for their semen in a jar is not acceptable behavior. It's crazy, like, it's crazy that you can have shit like this happen, and yet they're still roaming free.
Made in the Twitter thread, and saying he's making an effort to change and improve himself.
Okay. Alright, buddy. Thank you for letting us know you watched like 30 YouTuber apologies before you made this.
And adds being alone for a certain amount of time has led to so-called progressively escalating situations.
Yeah, I was alone for several years too. You know what the worst thing that came out of it from it? I just don't like successful people. Oh no, guys, I was alone for years and I hate successful people because I'm not successful right them. I hate it when I see people that have friends that are successful. How horrible. I didn't go to DMing kids. What? Especially when I know they were kids. What the fuck?
Also saying there was no pictures that would get him or anyone else in trouble, but if we look back at the DMs, I'm pretty sure that
I'm still haunted by the time that I had like a kid try and like ERP with me when I was like 18 or 19. And I kept trying to turn that shit down because I was like I was a cornball. I was kind of like okay with role playing, but eventually I asked them what their age was. They confirmed it, and they're like, "Please don't tell anyone, I swear." And then I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I waited for them to dig their hole a little deeper, and then I contacted the mods. I was like, "Hey, mods, yeah, I said I wasn't gonna report them. I lied. Can you ban this person?" And they're like, thanks for bringing us to attention." Yay. For the rec, I can tell you specifically, it was a Mushroom VTubers, like, Discord server. And that's all I remember.
there's at least one picture that would land him under the jail and countless messages that
don't ever move your
incriminate
bed.
them, but that's just my opinion. They continue to give the worst excuses, saying what happened just happened. They admit to...
What the fuck you mean what happened just happened? I can't say it didn't do anything wrong. I just don't have outside context with anyone. I can't say I did anything wrong, but guys, I didn't talk to anyone else, so I didn't know this was bad. No, you definitely do. You definitely do. What happened just happened. Listen, man, there's an extent. There's an extent. You know, I also had like a stupid minor make NSFW art of me when I found out that they were not they were nowhere even close to being 18. Dude, that shit horrified me. I had that thing deleted from my hard drive, and it's still like is burned into my retinas of its existence. I hate it. I hate it here. I hate even just remembering that. And bro was just like, listen, what happened just happened. No, it fucking didn't just happen. What happened because you're fucking vile.
Being in the wrong before once again saying the main reason things like this escalated was because they don't have outside contact with people and they don't have boundaries, despite the fact they initiated most of these things and the victims were basically denying his advances. And the rest of the so-called apology, I guess, just looks like they're painting themselves as the victim. And he doesn't even do the bare minimum by apologizing to the victims. Instead, he just apologizes for inconveniencing people.
I'm sorry for having troubled everyone so much. It fucking pisses me off that this guy actually has like 12,000 followers on Twitch, though. And bro is basically a self-proclaimed, self-admitted, like, predator.
But yeah, they were called out and admitted to what they did, so you would think that after being caught and having all of these deplorable messages leaked, they would actually, you know, at least learn from this experience like they said within their apology and never ever contact an underage person again, right? Well, Foxy a year later would once again make another thread regarding Picky and his behaviour, and they would provide more screenshots showing Picky doing what he did before and pushing people's boundaries despite in both situations being told...
Wait, what's going on here? I feed you soup and make you happy? Because that's what makes me happy? That's my girlfriend's job. Stop being so rejecting! What the fuck is... Bro! Why are you being weird like that? I think this is just average, like, femboy V2 behavior, because I swear, I feel like I've seen this multiple times already. You have to think about what you're saying, because the stuff you're saying is really fucked sometimes. It's often a joke. Yeah. Sure it is, man. It's often a joke. Yeah, but it doesn't come well through text. And if you're constantly doing it, you know, the jokes aren't really jokes anymore. That's just you.
Shots showing Picky doing what he did before and pushing people's boundaries despite in both situations.
Like, imagine going to a Dave Chappelle show and he constantly makes racist jokes, but then, you know, you like hang it, but then you see some YouTube videos or you see some live streams of him and he's also just constantly making like quote unquote racist jokes. At what point does Dave Chappelle stop making racist jokes and he's just a racist? I'm pretty sure it's when there is no divide between him doing a comedy bit and him just constantly saying it.
Being told multiple times to stop, and these people would tell him that they were already in a...
It's moving less than you are, Jesus Christ. I know, but you are being mean to me as well. Yeah, I don't... Yes, you are. I say I want you to be happy, and then you finna reject... Bro, you talk like you are... You talk like you're 14 playing a house. Holy shit, you're so pathetic. Besides, it's only me and her who's going to share a bed, so that's all that matters. She's preparing for it. SMH and I might have to fly over. I'm not going gay at all. You keep saying this, but blank thinks otherwise. I genuinely don't want gay shit. Bro. Oh, man.
A relationship and didn't want anything to do with him, with one clarifying...
Now I'm getting reminded of when I would be gay with my friends, but the difference is that they would know I'm acting gay just to piss them off because I'm pissed off, or they're pissing me off. I can tell you this does not look like a guy doing a little bit of trolling, bro. I don't know. I don't know why, but it makes it harder for her. Oh my, I'm so fucking glad. I'm so, you know, I'm glad I am normal in comparison to this freak.
He was not gay or interested in Picky, yet he was still insistent. And to my disgust and horror, he also watches XQC. This is most definitely not juicer behavior.
You do a crime, you go to jail! You're not cancelled! You're a criminal!
PM.
If only.
Now, I will say the ages of these individuals weren't specified, unlike the other thread, and they don't accuse him of talking to those underage again. So I think...
Okay, alright. Well, that's alright. He's not a predator in this case. He's just a fucking freak and being really fucking weird.
This time they were just...
With people that definitely don't like his quote-unquote jokes.
Just accusing him of making people uncomfortable and making unsolicited advances, despite a year prior in his apology saying he wouldn't be doing that.
The worst thing I ever did when I was hanging out with my friends on Xbox, I just called them daddy. And they'd be like, dude, stop being so fucking gay. And then they would call me the N-word. Good times.
Not anymore. It's also said within the thread that Picky tried to laugh that they were from Ukraine when the war had just started, even though he's from Germany and he was only doing this so he could farm.
What is up with Germans? What is up with Germans just being vile individuals, man? Did Hitler have like 50 babies or something and no one knew about it?
Donations and sympathy, but he did get caught doing this and he would quickly change his title. He was even reported to Twitch, but they didn't really do anything to Picky for doing this. But with all that said, after being exposed for their predatory and deplorable activities on 2 separate occasions, Picky wouldn't face much backlash, primarily because they were a relatively small streamer around this time, and once again the call-out post with the evidence inside it didn't really get that much attention. So Picky, by the grace of RNG and internet naivety, was able to continue making content with little to no pushback, and later down the road, things would only get worse.
Victim 7P? What is this?
After the initial expose, they would then attempt to become a VTuber around 2022. They were still playing Rocket League, just this time with a VTuber model that looks like one of the main characters from the show Ruby.
Like, bro, I can do flicks that don't exist.
No, that pretty much is just Ruby, bro.
I don't even... Guys, what was that? What is that flick code?
By 2023, they would eventually ditch the Pika RL name altogether, now going by the name we all know them as today, which is Picky, and the many variations of it.
Is it just me, or is it like people that have like too high pitch of a voice, they just can't have a female model? But it's definitely like a little bit hypocritical. Because I view myself as having like a bit of a deep voice, especially depending on how tired or awake I am. But I don't know. I find it way easier, and it's way more accepting to watch a VTuber, a male VTuber that has a deep voice, that has a female model. But if like a dude has a higher pitched voice and they have a female model, there's just something off about it. And I'd much rather them have like a brolic looking like manly man
They
model.
also made an effort to distance themselves from their previous name by deleting a lot of their previous content, attempting to erase their past or make it seem like this PKRL person has nothing to do with this new and up-and-coming streamer, Picky. But people like Technicals, who is a YouTuber who made a video on Picky quite recently, and is how I found out about this, would find from things like their past usernames on Steam, this indeed was PKRL, just now Picky. But if that isn't enough to convince you, you could also just compare their voices of their past videos compared to their new ones.
Like, I think tokens are kind of a good way to measure how much importance you have to the stream.
You like boys, don't you? You like kissing them too.
I want to die.
You are gay.
We are same.
No, I want to kill you in Minecraft. I want to put TNT underneath your house and blow up your house with you inside of it in Minecraft.
Same, but different. But still same.
They also around this time began heavily leaning into the femboy persona. They debuted their VTubing avatar, which was a femboy cat, and they labeled themselves the so-called God of Femboys. In addition to this, he renamed his Discord server that had apparently existed since 2020 to Picky's Femboy Hangout. Picky would
You don't know. I mean, that's kind of like a fairly normal name, but it's just cursed because bro said he wanted a like kids come in a jar.
actually make a lot of these servers, eventually renaming them or deleting them, and there was quite a lot of things happening
Me, who still has had like the same server since 2022.
in these servers. First, Picky would constantly beg for money because, as said before in their own words, due to his condition, he can't work, which is something he would also constantly talk about in the server, and for some reason, he'd also tell people that most of the money was being invested in toys, things that
Ew. Dude, you don't need to tell us about that. No. You don't need to tell. Listen, it's like one thing if you're talking about like a very specific brand, but like in general, you know, I think I'm just in like the disgusted state.
were not needed for his sustained living, despite complaining about how he was struggling. In some cases, if you wouldn't choose to support him in any way, he would just berate you and then straight up ban you. And past mods revealed that if you did choose to support him, sometimes you would get immunity in his server, even if you broke the rules. And unfortunately, in spite of all of this did result in him getting a significant amount of donations, around 2 grand at one point, mainly from his fans that are blissfully unaware of his activity, or are aware.
I wish I was able to get $2,000 in less than 4 hours. Life could be a dream.
And just don't care. Secondly, he'd use these servers to vent and
You know, maybe I just picked the wrong lifestyle. You know, maybe I do gotta fuck with kids.
basically have meltdowns. Said server also had underage individuals in it, which Picky was seemingly aware of. These meltdowns also included the regular use of things like slurs, but guys, don't worry, Picky had a great excuse for this when it was later scrutinized, because Picky is in fact black.
But I thought he was German, so he's a black German? That's interesting. It's interesting. He's a black German, so he must be just like that guy. He's just like that black Japanese guy from Attack on Titan. Interesting. We're learning.
For those of you
and also, literally just say that you don't care. You literally just say that, you know, people say slurs. You don't care. It ain't that deep. Oh no, guys, he said a slur. Oh, how horrible. Yeah, this is literally everyone does. All the time. It really ain't that deep. Oh no, I said a slur? Well, I'm okay with other people saying slurs too. There you go. See, it's just that easy. What do I think? I really have no issue with people saying slurs. Have I said slurs? Oh, yes, I sure have. Ooh. I prefer not to say them myself. But I, you know, obviously I can't help it when one slips out. But no, for real, I really just don't care when people say them. That's just me, but I prefer myself to not really say them at all.
missing a part of your frontal lobe, Piggy was not black.
You see, I take slurs like the F-bombs where I take slurs the equivalent of like an F-bomb when you're like 10 years old. Because when the first time you said like fuck as a kid, dude, you felt so powerful. It's like the same thing. Except now I'm branded as a racist.
Once again, all of this was happening in a server where underage individuals were present and could see a lot of these interactions, leading to the third thing that was happening.
Why did I
pause?
pause? I don't want to pause on that. I want to
explicitly with those underage.
You're underage. You see, this is exactly why I also have my Discord server, where literally you have to send a fucking photo ID. And I have to verify that it's not like anybody else's photo ID that you just stole from the internet. So you're going to have access to 18 plus sections. Because I never want this shit to happen on my Discord server.
At one point, his own mod team was telling him to stop doing this after he was caught doing it in general, which also...
You actually are just miserable?
One of his fellow mod sisters. And when
especially you. Do not talk to my sister like this. This will be the only fucking time I say it. You have more uses for me You have uses for me, so you stay... I can't even imagine why you would ever talk to someone like that, even on the internet. That's something you say to your wife, man. Not even your girlfriend.
he was confronted with this information, and when most of the mod
maybe your fiancé. What is wrong with dude?
team turned on him, he would just ban most of them and use his signature excuse.
14 is the legal age here. Okay, that's great. It's not legal in America. It's not legal in Canada. It's not legal in like the United Kingdom. And in Japan, I'm pretty sure the age of consent is also 16, dude. Who cares? In Germany, you're like I think you're also allowed to start drinking to the age of 14 too. Here's a fun fact. Apparently, a childhood only existed like 400 years ago because, well, people beyond 400 years ago, you know, once you were able to like walk and talk, you were considered an adult. So that's why there'd be if you look in history books, you can often hear and find how, well, children are even around the age of 10, they would just be game-ended for petty theft, like stealing bread, because children were seen as adults. Nowadays, everyone realizes, oh yeah, children aren't actually smart like adults. Children are stupid. It take them like 20 years for them to actually develop brain and not be retarded. But then bro's like, oh, it's okay, guys, listen. It's okay over here, so it's okay everywhere. No, fucking
With all of this
no.
said, Picky was still able to get away.
Even though it's okay there, just because it's okay over there doesn't mean it's okay, period.
With most of their actions, they still had a large Discord server with people that were willfully ignorant or blindly supporting them, and they were able to continue making content. He even made a new Femboy voice acting channel around that time. This was primarily because, as I said, nobody had really taken notice of the behavior around that time. But in mid to late 2024, they would finally begin getting the attention they deserved.
Oh?
I saw your search history.
Please.
Hands behind your back. Perf.
In August of 2024, the first of many videos would be made about Picky and their activities. The video was made by Celestius, a YouTuber that was known for content surrounding exposing predators on the internet and mainly on games like VRChat, which is really surprising since VRChat is the last place you would expect predators to be. It's such a wholesome and safe platform. That was sarcasm, by the way.
That was sarcasm, especially if you've seen the several other videos our favorite furry VTuber here has made. He's made like 5 different videos about VRChat predators specifically.
For those of you that have a room temperature IQ. Now, it is important to note that Celestius,
I'm actually quite surprised he did not take the opportunity to promote his videos.
The person that uploaded the series of videos on Picky and brought attention to the situation would have allegations of their own, leading them to stop uploading. And later on, Picky would use this as a point to prove they never did anything wrong, but regardless of what Picky says, the information present within these videos does still stand. Just so you know. The first video Celestius made would get over 100,000 views, mainly going over the claims made in Barksy's Twitter thread and some of the activity in Picky's Discord server. This video would get so much attention that Picky would actually respond to it through a 3-minute video reacting to his expose, where he basically says everything is false, he has no association with this spook RL person, and he is indeed black. But most of his excuses...
Okay, man. Just say you're okay with saying the N-word and having other people say it too. It is really not that deep.
Were provably false, and it was just cope at that point.
Oh, it can get worse. Like, you called me white even though I'm black? Are you fucking whitewashing me? I think that's like the tip of...
Are you whitewashing me? Okay, says the guy that is a white VTuber model.
the iceberg.
More people were talking about Picky and his predatory behavior now, and many more videos would be made. And as a result of this, more victims that had interacted with Picky in the past started to come out with their stories. In January of 2025, an entire Google Drive was made archiving most of Picky's predatory behavior, including the receipts and accounts from 14.
Dude, that looks well organized too. Sheesh. That must have taken forever. Good job. You know, proud of them. Good job of them.
Of his victims. The screenshots in this drive stretched all the
Good job organizing all that. That must have been torture. And along with censoring
way back
everything.
to when he went on.
That closet is kind of steamy though. I'm having a weird imagination. Uh-oh. Touchy. Why? You're not 12. Grow the fuck up. Beg for it. Beg probably like a good boy. I want to hear you're begging for. Dude, this is some shit that you say to a character AI just because you're fucking trolling. This is not how you talk to people. And you know, maybe this is like this is how probably people in VR chat actually talk to each other though. Especially those that are like, consider themselves mommies.
Under the name Spook.
It's so corny.
All the way to his latest name, Picky, when he was already in his early to mid-20s. Now, some of the screenshots within the drive, like Technical said in his video, were missing context, like people's ages, so you can't for definite say all of these people were underage.
Alright,
but
fair.
from the ones where the context is given, you can see the interactions he had with those underage in his server to private DMs. One victim called 1A in the Google Drive shared screenshots of him sending some very disturbing messages and even sending a picture of his toys to this person.
Why would she even send that? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think I will ever get it. No one really needs to know that.
They even provided an interview with 1A going into how they found Picky's YouTube channel.
The only similar thing I've had happen is like I was hanging out with my homies. We were all above like we were above the age of 2020. Not above the age of 2020. We were above the age of 22. All of us at the least. And then I was like talking about, hey, yo, I saw this VTuber that's supposed to be a say-so VTuber. And then they were doing like a collab with a like 18 plus company. And I like showed them and I talked about it. I was just like, you know what? I'm kind of interested. Just for the fact that they don't look weird. Also kind of crazy, though, that this, like, supposed say-so VTuber is sponsored by this 18-plus company for 18-plus toys.
Joined their Discord, and Picky seemed very interested upon hearing.
And that's as far as we ever gotten. I never got into a call with them. I was like, guys, I love this toy so much, dude. It's so good. I never fucking did that. That's just weird.
They were a girl, despite their age, and then started messaging them.
I saw him on YouTube. I saw his channel, and I was like, oh, he looks like a cool creator. I also just liked his voice, to be honest. That's literally the only...
You like his voice? Well, you know what? To each their own, I guess.
Sorry, I'm rambling. But I joined the server, and then we just started messaging one day. I met him in voice chat. He found out I was a girl, and then...
And as soon as he found out they were a girl, he immediately started thirsting over them.
Started DMing me, you know?
The genius Vermire strikes again.
And I'm like, okay, in a second. Then he would shit and yeah, so that and a bunch of other things you should not say to a minor. How do you feel about him denying everything to this day, despite you sharing your story? It pisses me off. I'm not even gonna lie. It pisses me off so greatly that he thinks he's indestructible and can get away with anything he feels.
Picky's...
Yeah. You know, he probably does feel indestructible because nobody was doing shit for years. He was getting away with it for years. Nobody was really calling him out besides like a single Twitter thread.
Common defense around this time was that the videos about him were all wrong. Once again, he's black, so they aren't the person everybody's talking about, and the only reason it shows from the account history that he used to be this person was because he actually bought his account from that person. Yes, he bought his account and servers from a known pedophile. which if we do give him the benefit of the doubt, still does not explain how they not only sound the same, but how there are now allegations being levied against his new name.
It's just a bunch of bullshit, and he kind of just repeats the same points he made before, that I'm this other creator, even though I like bought the server I'm on, and like all the socials, and I had a burner account for like ages. Oh yeah, I'm the Chris Hansen of YouTube and keeping people safe, like your public image is bad. Like, of course you're not gonna cancel me, you have a bad public image.
You're not cancelled! You're a criminal!
Wait, I have an unrelated question we didn't touch on. Are you black or white, Picky?
I'm black. I don't like saying this though.
Okay, I've heard that you were white, and there's pictures.
I'm gonna be called such a larper. People call
you don't like saying you don't like people knowing that you're black. It's kind of an odd statement.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit my narrative. No,
Picky.
Bro, that was made 6 months ago, and bro was already using the word LARP. Was LARP even that popular? I did not hear anybody using the word LARP up until like 2 or 3 months ago. Am I a normie? You know what? I think I'm kind of proud to be a normie.
The documents and expose videos would...
Let's go! We just don't have that many followers on Twitch! Fucking pedophile.
Seemingly stopped streaming around this time, but he would still upload to his Femboy voice acting channel, and he did still somewhat have a community support.
Femboy voice acting, and it's...
this time. But he
Hold on. Femboy voice acting, yet... There's not even that much voice acting, and bro was just making 20-second clips. That ain't voice acting. If you want to hear what voice acting is, I don't know, stick around for like 2 more years.
Upload to his Femboy voice acting channel, and he did still somewhat have a community supporting him.
I'll show everyone what voice acting really is.
26, Picky would begin leaning into rage bait to get attention, mainly posting things he knew would farm some engagement, because at the time they weren't streaming, and the support they were seeing, whilst yes, still was significant, it was a lot less than what they were used to seeing in previous years, so they...
Good. They don't deserve any support.
Probably resorted to rage baiting to make up for that, which is something they bragged about quite a lot.
I mean, the thing is, I think I said this before, I make money off of rage baiting people on Twitter.
But eventually, most of their rage bait posts on Twitter would just get hit with community notes telling everyone they were a pedophile, and with community notes, in some cases, it actually prevents you from making money, so the rage bait eventually became a thing they would do a lot less. In May of the same year, they also attended an interview with a YouTuber known as Ergblar, I guess in an attempt to clear his name, but all he did was tell the same story that Spook was not him, he bought the account, and every time something was brought up that would contradict his story, he would just deflect and ramble about something else.
Are you the person that was involved with these accusations, like with the Spooks account, or whatever, your Spooks RL or whatever?
No, that was not me. I buy accounts in bulk, and
so
for example,
you were
this
not the
account,
Spooks
if you
person?
check this, no, because if you check, for example, my current account is not even a year old.
So your Steam account, though, he did show that it has like your old
usernames.
because
I bought it.
And buying a jar, you know, saying that they wanted them to send it to them in a jar, and you know, even saying they'd pay $200 for it. So you're saying you were not associated with those allegations?
No, I am not associated with
or asking you to provide evidence that you bought your accounts, because I do agree that if you did buy the accounts, you should be able to prove that, right?
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't really mean that I should just show like my real fucking credit card and.
Well, no, you don't have to do that. You can just prove the date that you bought it. No one needs your credit card for that, buddy.
No, not that.
No, you can censor that. I just want to see a receipt.
And then I also need to verify that it's me, but it's not under my Picky name or whatever. So
it ain't that deep, bro. Just take a screenshot with a time code in the bottom right. That's kind of difficult to fake.
I need to like this is like such a multi-stage verification process.
This is so much yap for saying you don't want to.
I mean, it's not even difficult to fake. Like, bro, just literally take a screenshot if what you're saying is true. Obviously, it's not.
To show the actual proof to show that you bought these accounts.
Just ask me.
Because you didn't buy them.
To dox myself before this
we are asking you, and you're not showing anything, dickweed.
Stop getting sidetracked and get to the fucking point. You still haven't provided any receipts to prove any of your claims.
What about your line chew count?
Since why is this just about me? I just came here for Somicidas.
Why is this just about me? My brother in Christ, you came here for the interview. Of course it's about you. Are you retarded? He is retarded. He's retarded and he is a pedophile.
Interview. This is like a brand new account. This is like a couple months old account I'm currently using.
So what happened to your last account?
I got banned.
Why?
And what got you banned?
Do you actually know what I do?
So nothing he did within the interview actually helped his image. If anything, it made it worse. And towards the end, I think they just gave up after they realized he's just going to keep deflecting and probably lying. So they just started making fun of him, calling him a poopy boy and a pee-pee liker because that's what he was asking his victims for.
Base.
You're a poopy boy, Picky poopy.
You're a poopy boy.
You probably picky up the diaper.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This is so weird. This is so uncomfortable.
I know, dude.
Holy fuck.
You fucking poopy boy.
Why are you laughing at this? Can I actually ask why you're laughing?
It's funny. It's embarrassing, Picky. That's fucking disgusting. You're a poopy boy, Picky. All right? Just own it.
Okay, it's weird.
Poopy boy. All right, go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry.
At this point, there was nothing Picky could do to save his reputation, and it was about to get a whole lot worse for him in June of the same.
Let's go! Things got worse? For the PDF file?
Yeah,
Ooh.
because as said, the YouTuber Technicals did a video on him that became the most viewed video on the topic and brought even more attention to the things he had done. And this video would catch the attention of another popular YouTuber known as Schlep, who is most known for his predator catches and speaking out against the Roblox platform. And this would lead to a series of events that, to say the least, was not good for Picky at all. This would start when Picky would make a post claiming they had outlived yet another predator hunter due to the whole Gideon McDonald's incident, and Schlep would see this and respond with a clip from Technical's video of the interview with one of Picky's victims. And from there, Schlep would make
base Schlep
multiple other tweets bringing attention not only to Technical's video but also to the fact Picky was a predator, and still had multiple platforms where they were monetized and receiving donations. With this attention, slowly but surely, Picky's accounts on multiple platforms would begin to be taken down. First, one of his Twitter accounts was suspended, his Roblox account would soon follow, and probably the most significant was the removal of his Ko-fi page where his community was sending him donations. On YouTube around this time,
goodbye, you absolute cretin, you mung.
Their account was suddenly wiped, but another has now taken its place.
You nuns.
His link tree that was supposed to show all of his socials was apparently taken over, where it now only displays a link to the video from Technicals. One of his many Discord servers would be deleted or taken down, which was shortly confirmed by no text-to-speech. But unfortunately, his main server with over 30,000 members still does exist. On the bright side of things, a lot more people now—
Damn. I can't believe bro has 30,000 members in that server.
know about Picky and what they did. He's also lost a big chunk of his income sources, meaning it's going to be harder for him to make any income at all from his usual shenanigans. And obviously the best outcome would be Picky being prosecuted. There have been multiple online reports made against him, so something hopefully will happen soon, and he's probably just going to keep making alt accounts.
Yeah, one keep hoping. One can keep dreaming. But we need like Gideon to catch him in the act. Because it seems like nothing's ever gone. It seems like he's too retarded to actually like seal the deal. But I believe that, you know, if like an official predator hunter could if an official predator hunter were to interact with this guy, they could easily catch him. Because they would make him feel like he's the GOAT, he's the shit, and he's doing nothing wrong. And then they would actually catch him in the act and get him arrested finally for his crimes.
Spreading the same message that he's innocent and begging for money. But thanks to a few videos and people, it's nowhere as easy as it was around 2023 for Picky to do this, and people are potentially much more aware if Picky attempts to contact them. Picky is a concerning individual, to say the least. They've shown time and time again they will not change, and when confronted with the things they've done in the past, they will lie and deflect, only to then, for some reason, brag about it, which they've done in some cases. Personally, I don't think there is any helping this individual, as they themselves do.
Oh yeah, no, listen, there's plenty of people in the world where, you know, you should just stop trying to help them to begin with, and you should just try and get them convicted for their crimes. You should just absolutely disown these people and despise them with every fiber being, and not even regard them as humans. This creature is one person that you can regard as not being human, subhuman even.
Anything wrong with what they
Actually, that is what it means to not be human, is you are subhuman.
are doing, and
they are Cro-Magnon.
Demonstrated multiple times that they will continue to do these types of things. But all we can hope for is that the reports made against him will soon do something to finally stop him. But that's just something
maybe one day, someday. On that note, though, I hope all of y'all enjoyed. You know, if you liked Royalties here, our favorite furry hedgehog VTuber, you know, be sure to leave him a like, comment, subscribe in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe in the comments, and this video's in the description. You should tell me what y'all thought, and then like the video, subscribe if you want more React 90 slap, and I'll see you Vamp Cows next time. I feast upon my next victim.